I'm gonna throw a bunch of things at you. Are you ready? Let's go. Nonprofits, an experienced Army captain and Afghanistan combat veteran, a surfing camp in Africa, the American Cancer Society, the world's largest social media platform, this dude with a cool name and awesome hair, Charleston, South Carolina, the mission to stop soldier suicide, and these fun shapes. What do they have in common? GoodUnited. What is GoodUnited? It's the first company to help nonprofits tap into the unlimited potential of Facebook fundraisers. These recent and successful nonprofits that GoodUnited has assisted include the American Cancer Society, Susan G. Komen, the Amyotrophic Lateral Sclerosis Association, otherwise known as the ALS Association, the American Heart Association, No Kid Hungry, and the Wounded Warrior Project. GoodUnited has successfully been able to raise up to $500 million for these fundraisers over Facebook, and they're just getting started. Before we continue, let's take a step back. That was a lot of information. How did GoodUnited form? Once upon a time in a surf camp in Africa, Jeremy Berman was stoked to be on a sabbatical from his fancy corporate job to go mentor kids how to surf. He was ready to start shredding and teaching his ways when he discovered these kids were between the ages of 1 and 5. Not exactly shredding material. Due to the lack of training, funds from the school, and communication between Jeremy, who only speaks English, and these kids who only spoke their language, not much surfing actually took place. After a few days, Jeremy had come up with a plan. He would go door-to-door fundraising with his school and attempt at still accomplishing great things while he was there. He really enjoyed it, more so than the surfing, he said, which is how the passion for GoodUnited really formed. When he got back to the States, Jeremy got his MBA and met someone named Nick Black. Nick was a recently retired combat veteran who witnessed firsthand the suicide epidemic among soldiers, fought to change it, and founded Stop Soldier Suicide in 2010 with a few buddies of his. Thankfully, Nick and Jeremy shared the passion of giving back, as well as the belief that helping nonprofits using cutting-edge technology and doing so would be a game changer. After studying, graduating, and, quote, drinking craft beers in between, they moved their families to Charleston, South Carolina, founding GoodUnited as the forefront. It's clear by the $500 million his company has helped raise over Facebook, as well as the hundreds of organizations he's been able to make an impact in, that once again, technology is a good unifier. See what I did there? Good unifier, GoodUnited. So how does it work? GoodUnited works by creating personal relationships with each donor, with things from personal follow-up messages via Facebook Messenger or customized article feeds to fit the needs of donors' individual missions. This has been shown to create some mind-bogglingly amazing statistics like a 60% average click-through rate, as well as a 94% open rate in Messenger. This is the future of fundraising, they say, and they're just getting started. To give you some perspective of how amazing this is, last year during the 2020 pandemic, the American Cancer Society was immediately stripped of the opportunity to host 2,000 in-person events that would have generated nearly $300 million in revenue, alongside their largest annual fundraiser, Relay for Life. In the same year, ACS partnered with GoodUnited to, quote, drive revenue through digital peer-to-peer fundraising on Facebook, helping ACS not only recover lost income, but authentically engage an entirely new pool of investors. This partnership proved to be extremely successful, as in October of 2020, ACS broke the Facebook record for the most money raised by a single organization in a single day after they received 23,000 individual donations. In the end, they raised a little over 60,000 donations total, which didn't fully replace what the in-person events would have been. However, they still connected hundreds of thousands of people in a time that needed unification. This next part of the video is about Stop Soldier Suicide, which is a nonprofit that GoodUnited works really closely in, since Nick Black founded Stop Soldier Suicide, as well as founding and being the current CEO of GoodUnited. Like I mentioned earlier, Nick witnessed firsthand the mental struggles that combat veterans have once they come back home. With the implications of war and the nature of the lifestyle, soldiers tend to have some lasting health effects once leaving the military. Like it says on Stop Soldier Suicide's LinkedIn profile, veterans are at a 50% higher risk of suicide than those who don't serve in the military. The exact figure is hard to determine, however, some estimates range from 8% to all the way up to 1 in 4 combat veterans showing signs of depression, suicidal thoughts, or forms of PTSD or lasting mental health effects. More soldiers have died from suicide than have died in combat. In a study linked below, they concluded that a total figure of 30,177 combat veterans and active duty personnel have committed suicide in the past 20 years. Yet, only 7,057 have died from post-9/11 war operations. This haunted Nick and a few of his fellow combat veterans, Brian Kinsella and Craig Gradelli. They formed Stop Soldier Suicide in 2010 and have since been a seriously impactful resource for any veterans who continue to fight in a different type of war. Coming back to Good United, I'd love to showcase a marketing strategy that Nick Black himself has implemented on LinkedIn. You can find him posting at least twice a week about his experience in becoming a successful entrepreneur. If you're someone like me who loves learning, especially about different experiences and perspectives on life, they're legitimately good reads for anyone wanting to know more about Good United's day-to-day operations. Nick Black has over 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, and most of the posts aren't even about nonprofits, rather an insightful lesson to be learned. You may have been wondering who he is, and he's a member of Good United who I reached out to on LinkedIn, who I had a great conversation with. He also does have a cool name, and he does have cool hair. How could Good United improve? Well, they do a really good job. Like I mentioned, the marketing strategies that Nick Black and his fellow teammates have been using are really awesome. And not to mention, their website is beautiful. This might be the single most aesthetically pleasing website I may have ever visited, including high quality photos, popping visuals, and don't even get me started on the fabulous theming of this website. The only glaring improvement that I've really been able to find is if they were to post blogs more often. Likewise to the main web pages, Good United has included some extremely high quality and valuable blogs. However, making one even once every 2 weeks would be a huge improvement for the website. They already have some really big clients in the nonprofit world, so their reach is definitely impressive for how small their team is, which consists of about 50 team members. The best part is, they're only getting started. If you want to learn more about Good United, I have all of the contact information and the links down below that you can check out. If someone like myself is someone that you're willing to reach out to, I would love to have a conversation with you, which is why all my contact information is down below. I'd also like to mention, this is one of a few videos as a part of a project that I'm working on, where I showcase a different startup company each week. Lastly, if you or anyone you know is a veteran and struggling with any form of depression or suicidal thoughts, I encourage you to check out the links below, and they're also on screen now. I'll see you guys later, and you have an amazing rest of your day, you awesome person.